This is a fourth stimulus check, stimulus program, and news update. We're going to talk about the increase in Social Security, Medicare expansion, fourth stimulus check, and the infrastructure package. I'll also give you some other important updates along the way. But first, I want to get your opinion on this. Arizona executive order bans universities from requiring students to receive COVID-19 vaccine. I've reported in the past how Rutgers University in New Jersey is requiring that every student become vaccinated before going back to college. Now in Arizona, it is banned for universities to mandate vaccines. Let me know your thoughts on this down in the comments below. Should universities give freedom of choice? Should they require vaccines to go back to school? Let me know your thoughts on this. Next, let's talk about an update from the IRS. If you're waiting for your tax refund, whether from the $10,200 unemployment refund or just a refund in general, the IRS says it's working as fast as possible after complaints about tax refund delays. Basically, all they're saying is we'll get to it when we get to it, not giving any type of structural update, which is a little frustrating. Next, let's talk about how a charity is to wipe out $278 million of patients' hospital debt. So from the pandemic, with a lot of jobs lost, insurance was lost as well, which means any hospital or medical debt racked up a lot from a lot of people. So this $278 million, it's actually only for Virginia and Tennessee. But let me know, is this a good idea? I know I've spoken about student loan debt in the past, but should medical debt be covered? Should credit card debt be covered as well because of everything that happened during the pandemic and people are still trying to recover? Let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments below. If you were to choose one type of debt to get wiped out or to be forgiven, what type of debt would that be? Next, let's talk about, since we're on this topic of medication and Medicare, let's talk about Bernie Sanders put out a tweet recently saying nearly half of all seniors over the age of 75 have hearing loss. Yet in America today, 75% of seniors who need hearing aids don't have one. Why is that? Because of the price tag. It's time we expand Medicare to cover hearing aids, dental care, and eyeglasses. They also want to expand the age. They want to lower the eligibility to age 60. So that's in terms of Medicare. And in terms of Medicare expansion, there's been a survey done to Americans, and 60% of Americans support Medicare expansion, which is going on in Congress right now. Now, unfortunately, in terms of Medicare expansion, as well as a lot of the other proposals I'm going to mention, those are put on hold, put on the back burner until we figure out what is going to go on with infrastructure. I'll give you the latest details on infrastructure as well moving forward. But let's talk about Social Security now, because I get a lot of your comments. What's going on with the increase in Social Security? Are we getting an increase? When is it going to happen? So a letter was written for saying that Social Security recipients need a raise to keep it up. So this letter says the inflation rate has skyrocketed and looks worse than Jimmy Carter years. In 1980, Social Security got a 14% increase, and in 1981, an 11.2% cost of living adjustment increase, also known as the COLA. It's saying that our congressmen and senators can do the same for seniors and disabled this year. SSI must meet inflation. If a worker gets $15 an hour minimum wage, more money is going into the FICA fund. We deserve a 15% raise in Social Security and a freeze on Medicare just to pay our bills and meet COLA. Let me know if you think that's a good idea. 15% increase. So in terms of other increases, in regards to COLA, I'll get into what President Biden's plan is in a moment, but in regards to COLA, inflation jumps to 5% annual increase. Does the latest COLA, what would be the latest COLA estimate for 2022? So some are saying that in the past, in 2008, in August of 2008, inflation jumped by 5.8%, and the COLA adjustment in 2009 was 5.8%. So if the adjustment of 5% with inflation, is that a good increase for you if you're on Social Security? I know you're waiting for the bigger numbers like the $200 per month. In regards to that, President Biden called for the increased levies to help pay for proposed benefits increases, including raising minimum Social Security benefit to 125% of the federal poverty level. Currently, the federal poverty level is $12,881 per year. If you were to increase the benefits increase for Social Security by 125%, that would be $1,341 per month not increase, but that would be the new level. And then for the year, it would be $16,000. So instead of $12,000, it would be $16,000 for the year. Let me know if you think that's a good idea. They're basically saying that since the wages are increasing, that money should be used for Social Security increase as well. In terms of this actually happening, the latest in Congress, this is on pause as well, waiting to see what's going to happen with infrastructure. Now, in terms of infrastructure, senators face roadblocks to passing bipartisan infrastructure plan as opposition mounts. So basically we have 10 Democrats, or it's 5 Democrats, 5 Republicans, still trying to duke it out with a bipartisan solution. It doesn't seem likely at this point. There's no deadline set, but here is Republican Senator Rob Portman talking about the latest with infrastructure.
Rob, I guess I want to get to the realities of what's at play here. You have seen the administration, the Biden administration, shut down talks with Republican Senator Shelley Moore Capito. They've said, forget it. We will kind of move our own way at this point and look at the idea of doing this with budget reconciliation, getting only Democratic votes to get this passed, the much bigger bill that they'd been talking about. The biggest question is, do they have enough votes? Do you know where Kristen Sinema or Joe Manchin stand at this point? Would they vote for the Biden plan?
Well, you'd have to ask them, but I will tell you one thing. They are very excited about this infrastructure bill, but so are a larger group of Democrats. So we have 5 Republicans and 5 Democrats who've done the original work on this framework, but there's a much larger group that's very interested. And by the way, Shelley Capito did a terrific job with the White House in establishing those red lines that, we're not going to be raising taxes on American workers right now, and we're not going to do something that's not infrastructure. And that's the basis for our legislation as well. Unfortunately, they weren't able quite to get to an agreement with the White House, but I think it laid the groundwork for a successful bipartisan approach here. So our spending on infrastructure...
You're going to need a lot of Republicans to sign off on this, not just 5 or 10, but people are saying maybe 15, 20 Republican senators to sign off, because this bill would lose the support of some of the far left of the Democratic Party, because it's not the bigger initiative that they wanted to say. People like Bernie Sanders would never sign off on this because they want the guarantees that if they say yes to this, they get all of the additional spending that they had rolled out. They don't want to see it in a separate package. So is there enough Republican support for this that if you lost 10, 15 Democratic senators, you'd be able to pick up that support in the Republican side of the theater?
Well, there certainly should be. I mean, this is a proposal for infrastructure that Republicans have traditionally supported. It's also a proposal without raising income taxes. It's also a proposal that actually makes sense in terms of the economic growth, the long-term competitiveness of our economy. So I think it's something that's going to get a lot of support on both sides of the aisle. And Becky, what's so bad about having, 30 or 40 on the Republican side and 30 and 40 on the Democratic side coming together, and folks who might not want to support it? You mentioned Senator Sanders. That's fine, but isn't that the way Congress ought to work? Is that we look to grow from the middle out?
You would think.
Yeah.
What does Mitch McConnell say
I think
about
it just makes sense. I think it's just a logical approach to how we improve our infrastructure in this country, which is very popular.
What does Mitch McConnell say about it?
He's open-minded, as you said to the media. I'll let you speak to him directly, but he's been great to work with.
That last part is actually pretty funny, saying that Mitch McConnell is open-minded on this. Doesn't seem to be the case. So in regards to infrastructure, I just don't see the bipartisan path happening. They're just too far apart, not on the money issue, but on how to pay for it. So Democrats plot a path forward on infrastructure with or without Republicans. Basically, President Biden reached out to Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, said, all right, let's have these reconciliation talks. Let's see what our next path is. So it looks like they might try to do the bipartisan path, but the Democrats have their plan B in place in regards to reconciliation. Now, in terms of a 4th stimulus check, what's happening with that? Biden is urged to put new stimulus checks on autopilot, but will he? So this is a letter that was written to President Biden to put a 4th and 5th stimulus check automatically tied to what's going on in the economy, whether it's tied to cases, unemployment numbers. So President Biden said that a weak jobs report that came out a few months ago makes clear that there is more need for stimulus. And will there be any more stimulus? Well, lawmakers keep urging President Biden. So 28 lawmakers said We need recurring stimulus checks in the infrastructure plan. So far, President Biden has not put it in the bipartisan infrastructure plan. If it does go through a reconciliation, then most likely we're going to have a lot more things in there, maybe a fourth stimulus check. In terms of it actually happening now, that's another proposal that is put on pause, as well as a lot of the other proposals that I mentioned: Medicare expansion, increase in Social Security, home buyers credit. A lot of those things, student loan forgiveness, are just put on pause. So when it comes to a fourth stimulus check, President Biden is open to it, but his main focus is on the infrastructure package. He wants to come out with a big win, which would be a bipartisan solution, so he could be favored among the Republicans, maybe not so much among his own Democrats, but that's what his goal is, and it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. In terms of public support from the people for the $2,000 per month for every American, the change.org petition is at 2,345,000 signatures so far. Hasn't really increased much. Next, I'm going to answer the questions you leave for me in the comments. Eve Fields asks, is there a way to change the account that the child credit goes into? So regarding the child tax credit, I mentioned in yesterday's video that the IRS put out a new portal. This is just for low-income people to give the IRS their information. If you wanted to change whether you want it on a monthly basis or one lump sum, or change the account or change those type of things, that portal is not available yet, but hopefully it does become available before July 15th. Next, Dina Benford asks, what about eviction moratorium getting extended? At this point, the eviction moratorium is set to expire June 30th at the end of this month. It doesn't look like it's going to be extended after that. Angie Huffman asks, so you have to sign up for the child tax credit, or is it automatic? So if you filed your taxes in 2019, 2020, the child tax credit is automatic. You don't have to do anything. If you did not file any taxes, then the IRS doesn't have you in the system, doesn't know that you want to get the child tax credit. So you would have to then go through the portal, put in your information so the IRS has that information. William Baker asks, why don't you answer the question that several people are asking about SSI, SSDI, VARRB? Do you not know what's going to happen for them? So I'm assuming you're talking about the increase in Social Security pay, like the $200 increase. At this point, it's another proposal that is on the back burner, waiting for infrastructure to happen, whether it's a deal or no deal or reconciliation. Anyways, that is all the stimulus news I have for you today. To hopefully brighten your day a bit, here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Guys, I'm so happy that you guys like my video clips. I'm so excited. Thank you for doing that. I'm so excited. Do you like my dress? Comment down below if you do.
Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and if you want to check out any of my other videos, you could click this link up here. It's on my other channel, Wise Sense. It's about money and finance, how to make money, how to invest money. If you want to check out any of my other stimulus updates, you could click this bottom link down over here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.